We are heading back to the Bronx for a game 5. The Yankees are alive. Gerrit Cole does what we hoped that he would do. And after a really good outing in game 1, was even better considering what was at stake. Was even better in game 4. Gerrit Cole goes 7 innings, gives up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. And it was, look, Cole's going to get that homer. And like I always say, you hope it's a solo shot. And it was. And then one other run, which we'll talk about, which was really not much of his fault. It was really more so the walk that began the inning, which was the one walk that Cole gave up. That one came back to bite him in that inning, if memory serves me correct. I believe it was. It was the 3rd inning, right? Yeah, 3rd inning. And Harrison Bader does it again. It's his 3rd homer in 4 games. His first 3 homers as a Yankee. So Harrison Bader for Jordan Montgomery was one of the last deals that went down on the trade deadline. And I would say, more optimistic about that deal than most. Just knowing, and look, Montgomery might have served a pretty key role as things kind of turned out. However, Bader, that was the thing. Montgomery's pitching well for the Cardinals, and when it was all said and done, Montgomery came out of the pen for St. Louis in their best of 3 wildcard series. Harrison Bader, where would we be without him? Plays a good center field. There was an error actually that he made tonight that didn't come back to bite them, but he did make an error, to be fair. But wow, so like Cole is the story, but Bader is really definitely worth mentioning, just as a very key contributor. And Clay Holmes pitches the 8th, and Wandy Peralta pitches the 9th. So that formula worked. I have to say, I was very surprised to see Cole taken out. I know he was at 110 pitches, but I really thought that Cole would still be in there. I don't think Cole will be available tomorrow. I mean, anything's possible in a winner-take-all game, but I was surprised, but it works out. And Clay Holmes, there was a walk to Stephen Kwan, but Holmes, does the job. More so than I would have thought. So give credit to Clay. And then the night that Wandy Peralta is just so damn solid, so efficient. He only threw 7 pitches. But Wandy has just been so good. And you wonder about his availability tomorrow. So Wandy, if he does pitch tomorrow, it would be 4 straight days. Now keep in mind that Nestor is available out of the pen. It would be Nestor on 2 days rest, but it's almost as if I'm wondering, does Nestor take Wandy's role, which isn't just easily done. Now Nestor does have bullpen experience, but Wandy has the mindset to close. I mean, really, you can tell he's confident. He doesn't think. He's just pitching. He's ready to go. Wandy has the temperament to close, and to get big timeouts. So it worked. The Yankee offense, I would say, was underwhelming. They got to Cal Quantrill, similarly to as what happened in Game 1. So the Game 1 formula, I mean, things happened, I guess, in a different order, but it worked. Cole versus Quantrill, the Yankees won that both times. Now, what was a really big lineup change, really big, when you consider the scope of the whole season, Kiner Falefa out. Oswaldo Cabrera at short. They finally made the move that we knew needed to be made. Now, there's another conversation to be had about Oswald Peraza. He should have been on this ALDS roster. I really hope and pray that he's on the ALCS roster. I have my doubts, but maybe. But Cabrera moves to short and did well in the few chances that he had at short. Looked really smooth. He is an infielder. And so what you do there is you shore up the defense there. And now by not having Cabrera in left, you in theory shore up the left field defense. Now, coming in, which makes me less excited, was Aaron Hicks. And there, the play where Cleveland scored, the RBI single by Ramirez, Hicks just really isn't even moving out there. Just lazy's not the right word, but almost lollygagging. And it's what we've seen from Hicks. You're out there. You're on thin ice and you're going to kind of go about it like that. So there's a clear difference in hustle level. The Cleveland Guardians, they will take advantage of every mistake that you make, and they are fast. They're really they're a pesky team. And the Yankees, like these are two polar opposite teams the way they go about things. They are. But the Yankees do find a way. And boy, was it a big win. And, for tomorrow, you're going to see Jameson Town versus Aaron Savale, which is interesting. There's a lot of pressure on Tyone, who, struggled a bit in game two. It was a little bit unlucky, but Naylor really did sock one against him as well. We'll talk about Josh Naylor. Oh, I don't like him. But Jameson Tyone, really, there's a lot on the line there. He's pitched in big game. He has pitched in big games for the Yankees and done well. I think back to last regular season game against the Rays, where he didn't go deep, but he pitched well. He might have went 3+ at most 4, but 3+. And then there was a game this year that I also recall where he pitched against the Rays, at home, where the Yankees were really like swerving at this point. Like, it was getting bad. I think it really hit a low where the night before, Aaron Hicks really struggled defensively. And the next day, Tyone, who was given a nice cushion, the Yankees got after, they got it, a lot of runs off Corey Kluber in the first, but Tyone did a good job. And so Tyone, I don't know, am I confident? Not necessarily, but with Savale, Cleveland has to be feeling similarly. Now, Savale really finished out the season strong. He got off to a really bad start, but this is a good pitcher. He pitched really well last year. Home road splits this year. Savale was not quite as good on the road, but I looked at like previous years, and sometimes he was better on the road, so I don't think we can take much out of that. Savale pitched twice against the Yankees this year. He really got beat up at Yankee Stadium in April, and then pitched a little bit better in Cleveland later on. And if I remember correctly, Rizzo and Stanton homered. Might have even been back to back, but they homered off Savale. And with Tyone, he had one outing against Cleveland at home in April, and 5 innings, 1 run. Which, honestly, you'd sign up for that if that happens tomorrow. I don't think Tyone or Savale go deep. I mean, Cleveland is locked and loaded bullpen-wise. They'll have everyone that's good available. For the Yankees, it's a little bit dicier. Like I said, Wandy's situation is uncertain. Clay Holmes' situation maybe uncertain, right? I think both can be available, but we don't really know. And so, do you go to Herman at some point? Like, do you somehow go from Tyone straight to, let's say, Loaizaga or Trevino? We'll find out. I mean, Tyone should be pretty good to go. I mean, like I said, he pitched on Friday, but didn't throw that many pitches. And just, just to be sure, let's see how many pitches he threw in that game. I don't think it was a crazy amount. Tyone threw 18 pitches. Nothing crazy for someone who really hadn't pitched in quite a while, since that last Texas series. So, he should be like work-wise good, but I think there will be a quick hook on him as well. It's it's for him, it's a matter of effectiveness. If he's effective, he'll keep on going. But I think I cannot envision Tyone going more than 5 innings. I just can't see it. I think at max he's going 5. It would be amazing if it was more than that, but this is going to be tough. I mean, look, I'll be there. I'm excited that it'll be at Yankee Stadium. I do think that does help the Yankees, but the key for me is the offense needs to step up versus Savale tomorrow. Like, it has to happen. And there's been some players that have done well, some that have you want a little bit more from, right? I mean, and even within that, there were some good things tonight for players that needed to do better. But I looked to a few of the key cogs, and they got to do some stuff. Like, we know who it is, like the bigger names, and I think they can. Whereas for Cleveland, a lot of their best players have already done pretty well. Better than the Yankees' top guys. So we'll see. But getting into this game, Gerrit Cole. Wow. Really an amazing performance. And what helped was the Yankees had the lead from the jump. Right away. Gleyber Torres with the leadoff single. He actually still second on a strikeout by Judge. So Judge swings the ball forward. I have to think that Judge, because Gleyber was running, kind of felt like he needed to protect him and went out of the strike zone. But Anthony Rizzo, a rare RBI single for the Yankees. And it's Rizzo making it 1-0. However, unfortunately, really bad base running as he was kind of caught straight. I don't know. Rizzo as a base runner, is way too aggressive sometimes. It's really hurt him, and so he was caught stealing. It was odd. And so, but then Cole, pitches to scoreless first. There was a base runner there, but it was soft contact that worked for Cleveland, Quan. But it's 1-0. And then the second, they continue on. Josh Donaldson singles, and then with 1 out, Harrison Bader does it again. His numbers off of Cal Quantrill are just nuts. And so Bader makes it 3-0 Yankees. Just amazing what he has done. He has been arguably the biggest offensive contributor of the series for the Yankees. Makes it 3-0. Cole with a pretty efficient second, gets a double play there as well. And then in the third is when Cleveland gets on the board. And a leadoff walk to Austin Hedges is just unacceptable for Gerrit Cole. You can't have that. That's going to bite. It's so bad that it's going to come back to bite. It does. There's a 2-out single by Rosario. And then the Guardians score. It's a little bloop by Jose Ramirez on an 0-2 pitch. It wasn't a bad pitch by Cole, but this is what we've seen. A dunker into left by Ramirez. Donaldson does all he can to get there, but it drops in. But here's the key difference. Ramirez makes a base running mistake, so Hicks throws it in to Glaber, who throws to Rizzo, and they get Ramirez out, which reminds me of what happened the night before. Now, we never saw video footage of it, but it sounds like Miles Straw on the play where Cabrera didn't get there. Conner ends up with the ball, and he threw it into third. Apparently, Straw, like if what happened there, is what happened here, Straw might have been out just like that. But Conner just, I don't know, he just didn't do the right thing. So that was key, especially because of what happens in the fourth. Josh Naylor hits a leadoff homer in that inning. Now, that could have been a 3-run homer if that inning continues. It's only a solo shot, makes it 3-2, and Naylor was just so obnoxious. Now, and I said, Oswaldo Cabrera, I like the celebrating. I do. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, like, you want to have fun, but it just gets, it's a little ridiculous at some point. Naylor was saying, like about Cole. I guess he does this maybe, I don't know how often Naylor does this. He's always been a guy that's very emotional. And he says, like, oh, like, that's my little fucking son. And, like, kind of pretending like he's got, like, a baby. Like, it was weird. Very strange. I remember that Naylor was kind of very frustrating in the 2020 wildcard series. And at that point, Naylor wasn't really as established as he is now. He's become a very good player, Josh Naylor. But at that point, he wasn't, and I'm almost certain he, like, really killed the Yankees in 2020. And he was very demonstrative. And so the Cleveland fans are pumped. It's 3-2 at this point. But then Cole really, locks it in. There was a pretty big double play by Glaber in the fifth where I wish I could have seen, but it's typical Glaber, a little bit more hustle there. He was kind of just looking at the ball the whole time, but it's, he hit it hard, but it's a Glaber double play. And then in the sixth, Eli Morgan comes on for Quantrill. The Yankees get a very key insurance run. Judge with an infield single, which was key, and then Rizzo, sometimes you need some luck, and Rizzo is able to dunk in. Right, it was barely fair. Opposite field, left field, Rizzo doubles. And so now it's second and third with no out, and then Stanton crushes one. A sac fly. When he first hit it, I thought maybe this has a chance to go out. It's a sac fly. It makes it 4-2. Unfortunately, the Yankees wouldn't score again that inning as Donaldson and Cabrera strike out, but that was a very key run to make it 4-2. Gives Cole a little breathing room. He goes 1-2-3 in the sixth after a 1-2-3 in the fifth. Cody Morris comes on, and this is where it was frustrating. The Yankees really didn't do anything against Cody Morris or Zach Plesac. The offense shut down. Cole in the seventh. There is a 1-out single by Jimenez, and he goes to second on an error by Bader. He didn't field it cleanly, and when you give the Guardians a little bit of room, they're going to take advantage of that. And so Jimenez hustling out of the box. He's able to get in there to second. Then Arias strikes out looking, and then Will Brennan, who had come through the game before on a pitch hit single, strikes out. Cole ends his night in a strikeout, really ends out strong. And Gerrit Cole, again, deserves praise for the fact that he was public enemy number one after the Red Sox game last year. But now, and look, hopefully there is more postseason stuff to be said about Gerrit Cole, and it will get tougher if he remains in there. But what he did in this Cleveland series was just tremendous. And so kudos to Cole. So 4-2, we head to the eighth. Yankees don't do anything there. And then Clay Holmes comes on, which I was surprised about. I thought Cole would start the eighth. He didn't. And then there was a 1-out walk to Quan, and he got lucky too. Rosario strikes out looking on a ball. It was a 1-2 pitch. Maybe he eventually gets him out anyway. But Rosario strikes out looking. That was a lucky situation. And then he strikes out Jose Ramirez, who looked kind of silly. So Clay Holmes gets it done. And now we go to the ninth. Plesac goes 1-2-3, and Wandy comes on, and he is just money. I know that, last night a little bit unlucky there, but I think if you keep him in there, I think the Yankees win that game and potentially would have already wrapped up the series. But Wandy goes 1-2-3 and finishes it off with a Jimenez strikeout, and so the Yankees win 4-2. And as I described before, setting the scene for Savale versus Tyone. Will be very interesting to see what you get from these two pitchers, and the bullpens will be very, very active. And sometimes it doesn't go well for the Yankees, those bullpen games. I mean, it has at times, but more so from an offensive perspective. We could potentially piece things together pitching-wise, but I think offensively, we have struggled in these situations. So I'm very excited, though. Very happy that the Yankees staved off elimination. And so now it comes down to a game at Yankee Stadium, which is all you could ask for. Cleveland will be ready. This team will not go down easily. Cleveland can win this thing. This is going to be a fight to the finish. I expect a very close game. Can't make mistakes. And hopefully the Yankees can, hit some homers at Yankee Stadium. We've seen that the Yankees have been able to do that, specifically Bader, the series, home and away. But I'm looking for the Judges, the Stantons, the main guys. That's tomorrow. That's who I'm looking at. To really come through in the big spot. Because look, we've been waiting for Yankees Astros, and while I have my doubts about how that might go, it's gotta happen. It's got to. It would be a shame for it to fall short of that. But Cleveland will do everything they can to prevent that. But again, Gerrit Cole gets the job done, keeps the Yankees alive, and so here it is. Do or die, winner take all, ALDS Game 5 between the Cleveland Guardians and New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium tomorrow.